Welcome to the Archetypes of the East series. We're covering the hexagram of delicate situations, respect for authority, and navigating tense social situations. Hexagram 10, treading, conduct. When navigating dangerous or highly sensitive situations, composure, conduct, and watchfulness are absolutely essential to success. Hexagram 10 emphasizes the need to be respectful, appropriate, and mindful of behavior when interacting with powerful individuals or situations. The phrase, treading on the tail of the tiger, is a metaphor for navigating a difficult situation successfully. Maintaining an optimistic, open, and humble character is important as this helps to disarm potential dangers and stressful interactions. The principle of Hexagram 10 is the art of conduct. It describes a high-wire act of social and professional life. It's the wisdom of right action under pressure. The tiger here represents any force far greater than yourself. A volatile boss, a high-stakes legal matter, or a dangerous social minefield. Success here depends entirely on your composure. If your conduct is flawless, respectful, and appropriate for your rank and situation, even the most dangerous tiger will remain calm. In this season, your internal state determines your external safety. By maintaining a humble and optimistic character, you neutralize the threat. You're not being weak, you're being precise. The hexagram emphasizes watchfulness. You must understand the rules of the game better than anyone else. By following the way of tradition, etiquette, and mutual respect, you move through the world with a shield of rightness. The energy of this hexagram is about radiant composure. The atmosphere of hexagram 10 is tense, but it's bright. It is the key of a tightrope walker at a circus. To survive treading on the tail of the tiger, your energy must be bold in ethics, but gentle in execution. This is the frequency of innocence mixed with awareness. If you're fearful of the tiger, it'll smell it. If you're arrogant in front of the tiger will feel challenged. Only through a balanced, radiant state of mind can you move safely through your circumstances. Your core must be unshakable, your inner heaven. But your outward response must be flexible and adaptable. Think of water flowing over a stone. The water is soft, but it can't be broken by the stone's hardness. Influence in this state is maintained through established norms. By showing respect to authority, you're not being submissive, you're being strategically appropriate. Protocol is the cage that keeps the tiger's teeth away from you. The lake sits below the heaven. This means that your cheerful demeanor is what supports the weight of the situation in the image of the hexagram. A calm, humble, and optimistic key acts as a psychological buffer, making it nearly impossible for others to justify attacking you. The image of hexagram 10, heaven over lake. Heaven above, the lake below. The image of treading. The superior one discriminates between high and low actions and fortifies the reasoning of the people around them. Heaven is high and the lake is deep. The image represents the natural order. Just as the sky and the water have their places, every human interaction has a context of rank, responsibility, and power. Treading effectively means knowing exactly where you are in relation to the tiger, quote unquote. By acknowledging these differences, you remove the friction of ego and fortify the reasoning, the common sense, of everyone involved. This hexagram is the season of professionalism. To tread safely, clearly define your purpose within the hierarchy. Are you the leader, the student, the partner, or simply an observer? Misfortune comes from overstepping your bounds or failing to fulfill your specific duties. To discriminate between high and low actions means choosing the most ethical path, regardless of what others are doing around you. Your exemplary character becomes a visible standard that keeps the group from descending into chaos. Treat everyone with appropriate respect, not out of fear, but out of a commitment to a well-functioning society. When you respect the high, the authority, you ensure order. When you respect the low, those under your care, you ensure your loyalty. The judgment of hexagram 10 states, treading into the heart of precarious circumstance, like treading closely upon the tail of the tiger. It does not bite if one is careful and wise. Success. The strategy here is the power of non-provocation. The tiger is any force, a boss, a legal system, or a social crisis that has the power to destroy your progress instantly. The goal is to tread through its territory to reach your objective. The tiger chooses not to bite because your presence is harmonious, not challenging. You move with such an upright character and respect that the tiger perceives no threat to its dominance and no flaw in your armor. In the realm of career, goals, and ambition, pay close attention to social cues and professional limits. Any disruptive or tactless move can jeopardize your initiative. When facing a tiger, that could be a hostile superior, a crisis, or a risky authority member, do not show fear or aggression. Remain civil and remain pleasant. Composure is your shield. Success comes from an upright character. If you are careful and wise, you can navigate even the most precarious circumstances. This is the art of being firmly ethical but socially soft. Don't bow out of cowardice. You bow out of expert understanding of social contract. The danger of fear and arrogance is this. The tiger bites two things, the fearful and the arrogant. Fear signals weakness. Arrogance signals arrival. By remaining civil and pleasant, you occupy the safe middle ground of innocent observer. Step lightly is the advice to take. Before you make a move, check your ego at the door. This is a time for watchfulness. Observe the social cues before you speak and act. In the realm of relationships and social flow, Hexagram 10 double checks that you make sure that your ego is left at the door. Arrogance and provocation will entice the tiger to bite. It is best to enter the scenario with a student's mindset, even if you know you're highly capable. To tread the paths of power, one needs to step lightly at first. A changing line 1. Simple and casual conduct. Initiating progress with care is without blame. This line is talking about authentic minimalism. At the beginning of your journey, do not try to play the game or use a complex social maneuver. Success comes from being uncomplicated. If you act according to your true nature and keep your goals modest, you move forward without attracting the tiger's attention. There is no blame because there is no hidden agenda. Be straightforward. Keep interactions simple and genuine. In high-pressure situations, people often over-prepare or become performative. Line 1 suggests the opposite. Be authentic. A plain, honest approach is your safest ticket through the door. Avoid social inflation. Do not claim a rank that you do not or have no knowledge of or that you haven't earned. If you remain simple, the tiger sees you as a harmless passerby rather than a challenger. Be careful with initiation. Initiating progress with care means moving slowly. Check your surroundings, say exactly what you mean, and don't over-embellish. A changing line 2. Treading a smooth and level path, like the perseverance and aptitude of a quiet hermit, brings good fortune. This line is talking about the virtue of internal stability. You found a rhythm that works. The path is smooth not because the danger has vanished, but because your perspective has shifted. By remaining quiet and content, you are no longer a target for the vanity or envy that fuels a social conflict. The dark man or hermit is someone who does not need the light of public validation to know their own worth. The advice is to tune out the noise, ignore distractions, and the urge to compare your progress with others. In the I Ching, good fortune comes to one who can walk through a crowd without being pulled by its desires. Stay undistracted by vanity. Your success at this stage is private and internal. The danger of ambition is this. If you suddenly decide that you want fame or recognition, which is stepping out of the hermit's shadow, the path will immediately become rugged. The smoothness is a direct result of your humility. Maintain your pace. Stay focused on your journey. This is a period of steady, solitary work. You don't need to ask for permission or applause. Just keep treading. This line describes deep work or stealthy wealth. In an era of constant social media posturing, this line advises that you do the opposite. Don't announce your moves. Work in the shadows, keep your head down, and find good fortune in the fact that no one is trying to block you because they don't even see you as a rival. A changing line 3. A person with one eye is still able to see. One who is lame with one leg and a crutch is still able to tread. If one overestimates themselves and treads on the tail of the tiger, it will bite them, bringing misfortune. Only someone qualified like a warrior should act on behalf of a higher authority. This is the line of honoring your limits. This is the red light in the I Ching. You're currently one-eyed, which may be interpreted as lacking the full picture, or lame, lacking the resources in order to move quickly to your objective. If you overestimate yourself and try to play a high-stakes power game right now, the tiger will react with total severity. Misfortune occurs because you have mistaken recklessness for bravery. The advice is to withdraw and reevaluate. Do not challenge powers that you are not equipped to face. This is a time for brutal honesty. If you are impulsive or try to force a result, you're essentially treading on the tail of the tiger with your eyes closed. Realize that your current vision of the situation is incomplete. This is an ego trap. The one-eyed man thinks that he sees everything. The lame man thinks that he's running. In a high-pressure environment, honor your limitations. Admitting you aren't ready is a form of warrior wisdom that saves your life. Use extreme caution. Or retreat. Only a true warrior, someone with total mastery and a great prince or a higher purpose, can survive this specific move. If that isn't you, stop moving and stop striving, and keep your head down. A changing line 4. One treads on the tail of the tiger in their circumstance. Use great caution and circumspection, as this leads ultimately to good fortune. This line is talking about conscious vulnerability. You're now in a kind of danger zone. Unlike the previous lines, you are directly treading on the tail of the tiger. The situation is incredibly volatile, and the power dynamic is skewed heavily against you. However, because you are fully aware of the danger, you don't panic. Use that fear as a tool for great caution. By moving with absolute circumspection, watching every breath and every word, you navigate the crisis. This is about hypervigilance. Prioritize your safety and well-being at every step. This is not a time for bold leaps. It's a time for microscopic adjustments. Treat the powerful influence with exaggerated respect. If you remain correct in your behavior, the tiger may growl, but it will not strike you. Don't let up your guard and don't relax just yet. The good fortune is only ultimate. It comes after the tension. If you let your guard down midway through your interaction because you think that you're safe, you'll get bitten. Slow motion diplomacy requires this. It's a risky venture. Slow down. Listen more than you speak. Acknowledge the tiger's power openly to disarm its need to prove it to you. This is the high-stakes negotiation or crisis management line. Metaphorically, you're in a room with someone who could fire you, sue you, or ruin a deal on a whim for you. This circumspection required here is like walking on thin ice. You don't look at the shore, you look at where your feet are landing right now with each step of the way. A changing 5th line. Be consistently resolute in your conduct. Persevere and fare forward with an awareness of ever-present dangers. This line is talking about the burden of authority. You're in the golden seat of the hexagram, but you're still treading. You must make determined decisions, but you cannot afford the luxury of relaxation just yet. Success depends on being decisive yet humble. You move forward resolutely because the situation requires action, but you keep an awareness of ever-present dangers to ensure that your strength doesn't turn into a liability. The delicate balance. You must maintain a balance between boldness and meekness. If you're too bold, you'll provoke the ill intent of others who feel overstepped. If you're too meek, you fail to lead. Your perseverance is fueled by constant assessment. This is the trap of success. In a position of influence, it's easy to think that the tiger has finally tamed. It is not. The obstacles are simply more sophisticated now. Never lose sight of potential hazards. Act with a manner that is appropriate. Be the person who is firm on the goal but flexible on the ego. A changing line 6. Look to your previous conduct, weighing the favorable signs of your deeds in introspection. When everything is fulfilled and matters conclude, in the end, supreme good fortune arrives. This is the line of ethical retrospection. Your journey is complete. You have successfully navigated the precarious circumstances. Now, look back at your previous conduct. This is the moment of internal audit. The favorable signs are the moments where you chose the high road over the easy road. If your behavior was consistent, respectful, and wise, the conclusion of this matter will be supreme good fortune. The ultimate test of character is to reflect on the consequences of previous interactions. This isn't just about whether you won, but how you won. Did you maintain your conduct and respect even when the tiger's tail was under your foot? If so, you passed the difficult milestone or a divine test, and the rewards will be lasting. This is about completion over continuation. When everything is fulfilled, the matter should conclude. Don't try to start a new tread immediately. Enjoy the end of this cycle. If the signs are favorable, it means that you have earned the right to rest. Take the lessons from this walk and integrate them into your character. You have learned how to handle power. This makes you a superior person for the next cycle of your life. This line is kind of like the performance review or legacy line. Whether it's a completed project, a resolved legal battle, or a long-term relationship milestone, look at the trail that you left behind. If you are professional, ethical, and poised throughout the crisis, your reputation, your favorable signs, will now bring you opportunities that you didn't even ask for. You didn't just survive, you ascended. This concludes Hexagram 10. I hope that you found this video helpful in understanding this hexagram. Subscribe to follow along, and then in the next episode, we'll study one of the most favored hexagrams in the entire Book of Changes, Hexagram 11, Peace and Prosperity. See you soon.